Today we're going to talk about divorce, children, and religion. My name is Michelle Diglio Ben-Karan, and I'm here with Annabelle Catania, and we are attorneys here at Legal Counsel P.A. So Annabelle, I got a question for you. So let's say you have a scenario where there's a divorce that's about to occur, and you have one spouse that is a devout Christian, and you have another spouse that, let's say, is Muslim. What happens as far as the children are concerned? Because, in family law, I do know that everything is in the best interest of the children, but what happens? Because that can be really confusing, especially if you have, eventually get split custody and things of that nature, and they're being told two different things. Does the court get involved, or what does that look like?
Well, because of the separation of church and state, the court won't get involved in that. Basically, it will tell you on your time, you raise the children as you want, and on your time, you raise the children as you want, which can be very confusing because at mom's house, they're going to be celebrating certain holidays.
Christmas,
Christmas, let's say. And in the other house, a Jewish household, it's totally opposite, right? Or a Muslim household, it could be totally opposite. Or you might have a parent that might say they're Christian, but they don't celebrate any of the holidays. Or they could be, atheist. Mm-hmm. And so you've got one parent saying, love God, blah, 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 and another saying, there is no God. Mm-hmm. So very confusing to the children. I strongly suggest that parties during mediation or during any type of settlement negotiations through their attorneys, that they kind of come up with a plan of how that's going to look, whether, these are important days for the Christian faith, and we'd like to have mom have the children with her on these days because of that. And these are days, you brought up the Muslim faith, these are days that are very important to Muslims, and this is how this needs to be, on the children with dad's time on these certain days. That can happen, but the court's not going to get involved in that. The court will not say anything about religion, and the court will basically say, mom's time, you do what you want, dad's time, you do what you want, but we're not going to get involved in who the child is going to be with for Christmas. We're going to get involved in who the child is going to be in with for winter break, and stuff like that. So it's a very difficult situation for families.
Interesting. Wow, that's be very confusing.
Absolutely very confusing. Very confusing for children, especially if one parent is vehemently against the other versus supporting, what's going on in that household. And it goes both ways, Christian and Muslim, it goes both ways. Yeah. So you loved each other enough to have children together. So I always strongly suggest, remember that. You might hate them now, but you had a child with them. So respect them enough to respect those things and what you discussed during your marriage was going to happen in raising those kids, and keep to that, even though you might have changed your mind now, but be fair to those kids. Put your kids first.
Sure. Well, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Well, if you have any questions with regard to this topic, it's very interesting, and we'd be more than happy to help you. So if you have questions, we have answers.